Good evening, everyone. Welcome back once again to Vicious Rants. And of course, I'm your host, your YouTube messiah, often imitated, never duplicated superstar Tim Vicious. Gonna go Raw this week. Was in Raleigh, North Carolina. Now, before we get into that, we're gonna switch gears and talk about last week via the SmackDown Rewind. And well, big highlights from last week's SmackDown. It started out with Roman and the family coming down. Roman talking about on how he's gonna go through Finn, on how Finn's scared of him because he has to resort to being a demon. And I've already made the comparison before about with the demon aspect last week. I don't want to do that again, but they also talked about on how it's now official. Brock Lesnar is going to go against the Universal Champion at Crown Jewel, the Saudi Arabia show, in October. Now, I've mentioned before about my views on the Saudi Arabia show, and it really is like divided up into two camps. You either come off sounding like a super hardcore WWE fanboy, like, oh yeah, yay! Or it's WWE's just taking Saudi blood money, blah, 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 that shit. Me, honestly, I look at it from this perspective. In Saudi Arabia, it's a country and a culture that doesn't really see too much Western culture. So it's a chance to potentially help show some. And I'm not talking like next thing you know, we're going to see a Starbucks on every corner or see girls wearing low-riding jeans and all that shit. No, far from it. But if you can introduce a small little aspect, you know, I mean, like, take for example, if, you know, people say all the time, you know, I see shit on Twitter all the time saying, oh, well, if you were going to introduce such and such to wrestling, what would you do? And I see hundreds of people suggest, you know, Japanese wrestling or Mexican wrestling or German wrestling. Okay, so why not do the same thing to help introduce something like that in another culture? Just saying. Now, either way, after that, Big E came down gloating over on how he won the WWE title last week, or that Monday, I should say. And then, especially after, you know, on how he always kept teasing Paul on how he was going to cash in, sneaking up on Paul like, huh? You know, next thing you know, Usos did a sneak attack on Big E. Finn came out, saved them, which led to a tag match between the Usos and Big E and Finn. Big E and Finn won. Next, other than that, the other big highlights, Seth wound up doing a promo gloating on how he was, well, I'm skipping some. I skipped over something I'll go over in a minute. I got a good train of thought going here, folks. Seth wound up cutting a promo talking about basically like on, and I'm paraphrasing mind you, but basically talking about on how he was in shock when he saw what he did to Edge, but now that it's done, he's perfectly okay. What he did a legal move in a legal way in the middle of the ring and took out the legend, the Hall of Famer. And so then he wound up basically saying, Edge, the question is, do you got the guts to come back? So we're probably going to get Edge Rollins 2. Personal predictions, Royal Rumble, and or Mania. That's that. That said, I did skip a beat, but Rick Boogs had a match with Robert Roode. After the match, Boogs won. After the match, Boogs, Nakamura, and Pat McAfee were all doing a celebration, which I gotta be honest on one thing. I fucking love that on Pat McAfee on commentary because, honest to God, he really is a fan giving a fan's perspective. And let's all be honest and let, you know, if any of us, anyone, doesn't matter if you were being offered a spot work doing commentary on WWE or AEW, NWA, Ring of Honor, MLW, GCW, I don't give a fuck. Insert letter W, something, whatever wrestling promotion under the fucking sun. If you were given a chance to do fucking commentary at a show, you would, and you would be a fucking fan. You would be a huge fan going all nuts over it. McAfee is, honest to God, being a fan, and I fucking love it. It is like a fresh, it's like breathing in a new set of, like, some fresh air, like, man, that feels good. You know, because you're hearing a fan call it from a fan's perspective, and that's cool. Now, with that said, they're doing the celebration. Next thing you know, General Aziz and Apollo Crews come out, do a sneak attack. Crews then issues a challenge for Nakamura for the Intercontinental Championship. We'll wind up getting that match down the road. That said, other big highlights from the show. Corbin wound up doing a sneak attack on Owens prior to a match they were supposed to have. And I know rumors are circulating about Kevin Owens' contract coming up, blah, 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 blah. Dude, no, just no. Don't go feeding into the rumors on it, because whether they're true or not, okay. But the man, just watch the damn show and don't worry on, oh, is this guy's contract up? Oh, if it is, he'd be great here, or he should go there. Or just shut up. I mean, honest to God, listen, I'm not big on like other sports, so I can't speak from this perspective, but does anyone out there really think like, oh hey, once this guy's contract's up with Baltimore, for the Baltimore Ravens, he'd be great over in New Orleans, or once this guy's contract's up in Philadelphia, he'd be great for the Giants? Like, but what the fuck? Just, yuck. Also, for the first time in like 3 to 4 weeks, we finally got a women's match on SmackDown. We had Zelina Vega and Carmella, which I'm pretty sure that team should be dubbed the reason why I need heart pills, and I'm probably going to get a brain duster for that. Sorry. Going against Liv Morgan and Toni Storm, and we finally got a women's match. Unfortunately, it ended in the shittiest ST Diva way possible. Carmella got planted face first into a turnbuckle. She then crawled outside the ring screaming, my nose, blah, 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 blah. Ended in a count-out loss. Liv then issued a challenge for a match at Extreme Rules. So, yeah. Yeah. SmackDown ended. The other big highlights, it ended with Glenn Jacobs, the mayor of Knoxville County, Tennessee, where SmackDown was, doing a homecoming to Bianca Belair, who came on down, taking it all in, hearing her hometown crowd chanting to her, seeing her family ringside, taking it all in, and then out comes the SmackDown Women's Champion, the man, Becky Lynch. Pretty sure I'm gonna get a brain duster for that one again. Like, just coming out like, whoa, I've never seen a homecoming. I'm just here to take this in. You know? And then plants Bianca and then walks out, and then the show ends. No, a lot of people are shitting on the idea of, oh, they're burying her, you know, it's her hometown, this, that, and the other. Guys, it's called heat. Real simple. That's it. Plain and simple. What better way to get heat on a bad guy than destroy the good guy in their hometown? For fuck's sake, quit. It, honest to God, drives me nuts on how everyone always says, oh, this one always loses. You know, they always lose in their hometown. The WWE never treats their stars right in their hometown. Guys, shut the fuck up over that. Quit over-analyzing shit like that. You want to critique a match saying, oh hey, this was a good match, I like this, I did not like this. Okay, perfectly cool. But once you start to over-analyze it, like, you know, they did three arm drags, which they did this many arm drags, which I felt was way too many. Like, dude, seriously, chill. So yeah, that said, now let's get into this week's show. It started out with the band back together. The New Day is back together, and you know, I gotta tell you, the one thing that stood out to me when they were doing it was it kind of felt like Big E was kind of like the odd man out in a way, because Kofi was in his Skeletor gear, Xavier Woods was in He-Man gear, and Big E kind of had like a Godfather-like gear. And all I could think was, man, Big E would have been perfect for Man-at-Arms. Shame. Damn shame. And yes, total Masters of the Universe nerd. Do not judge, folks. That said, Big E had the mic, was, you know, people were chanting, you deserve it, you deserve it. He said, you know, I did this. I couldn't have done this without all of you. And one person who's not here, hinting to one person who's up above, hinting to Brody Lee. Everyone knows Big E and Brody were really tight-knit. You know, can't get over that. It's really, that was a big thing for him. Then Roman and the family come out. So yeah. So we're getting a trios match. Now New Day versus Roman and the Usos. Really dug the shit out of this match. I fucking liked it. To face it, you know, New Day, they were leading early on. Kofi was the punching bag for a minute. Big E got the hot tag in, and then once he got the tag in, Roman got the tag in, they just both stopped, and it was like, ooh. They both just went through the ropes real slow and were staring each other down, almost kind of like at the OK Corral kind of stare down, like, okay, let's do this now, motherfucker. And then they started going at each other pretty good. I dug the shit out of it. Excuse me. This was a hell of an opener. In fact, this was a hell of a show. This is a hell of an opener. I dug the shit out of it. The ending, however, could be led to question, because Bobby Lashley came down, destroyed Big E when he was outside, no longer the legal man, then destroyed Kofi, then destroyed the Usos. Xavier Woods, who was in the ring, was looking like, what the fuck is going on? What? And then turns around and then boom, Roman hits him with a spear. 1, 2, 3. That was it. Next thing you know, we see a backstage segment with Lashley demanding he gets a shot. He gets a shot at Big E because he is still the Almighty. This is still the Almighty era and such. And then we get a later segment with Big E demanding he wants a triple threat with Roman, Lashley, and him tonight. So that does wind up becoming the main event, and we'll get to that in a bit. Next up, we got women's action. Well, if you could call it women's action, it was Eva Marie versus Doudrop again. Which, okay, I get it. It was a let me up moment. It was the piss break moment. It was a let me up moment. Basically, on how it went, this was on how the entire match went. Eva Marie was ducking and dodging, climbing around, going around the ring for a minute, trying to throw off Doudrop until eventually she caught her, threw a few slugs, and then did the diving crossbody again. 1, 2, 3. That was it. And then yelled into the camera, the Evolution's dead. So, yeah. Next up, we got Randy Orton versus AJ Styles. Now, before I get into that match, again, little thing I learned from reading Rip Rogers' book. If you've not read that book, highly recommend it. one thing Vince likes doing, and you definitely pick up on it after a while, is sometimes he'll have stink matches that are stinkers come up right after the follow. They'll have stinkers lead into good matches, which wind up making the good matches seem so much better. Case in point right here. Randy Orton versus AJ Styles. These two went at each other at WrestleMania a few years ago. Entirely different feel for the match, but my God, just as good. Now, this was a good, solid match. Really good, solid start. AJ, he was leading into the break. Randy was leading post-break. Now, at one point, ref didn't see it, but Randy was running off the ropes. Omos grabbed his leg, tripped him. The ref saw it. Randy down on the ground was yelling at Omos, "Did you do that? Did you do that?" And Omos saying, "I didn't do nothing." And then threw Omos out. And all I keep thinking is, motherfucker keeps getting thrown out all the goddamn time and he don't even get caught doing this shit, man. That just don't seem right. Damn. But yeah. This is a great match, like I said, on par with what they did at Mania, but felt like an entirely different match. Match came to an end when Randy wound up doing the draping DDT, hit him with the RKO, 1, 2, 3. Probably the coolest part in the match was before the end, Styles, he went to go for the phenomenal form. He leaned back on the ropes like he was about to jump. Randy then turned around and coiled himself like he was going to go for the RKO, and AJ just stood there on the apron like, huh? Gotcha. You know, I just thought that was really cool. So next up now we got another women's match. Nia Jax going against Shayna Baszler. Former tag team partners, former friends, now going against each other. Oh my God! Yeah. Nia pretty much like squawking, talking about on how you see what I could do to you, all this, that, and the other at the start. And then Shayna just starts laying in a striking game, throws it, next thing you know, winds up putting in the Karabuta clutch, chokes out Nia, I should say, because even at one point you can even hear her yell, "I can't breathe," when it's locked in. Ref calls for the bell, that's it. After the match, then Shayna starts going ballistic and starts taking out Nia's arm. The entire time she's doing it, though, I couldn't help but thinking, I know this is going to come off insulting, but it's honest to God not meant to. But the way Nia was screaming and yelling as she was getting her arm decimated and destroyed, it sounded like the squealing like Mick Foley used to do when he was Mankind, when he first debuted as Mankind, the wee kind, when anytime he was ever getting beatings put on him. And I'm just saying, it was just a random observation I noticed. Like, you know, some folks was making jokes like she sounded like a pig squealing. I just thought, she sounds like when Mankind was getting the crap kicked out of him when he first debuted. Okay. So, yeah. Next up, we got Mustafa Ali and Mansoor going against a tag team. Well, this is completely random. Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo now teaming up again. Now saying that they're familia, they're family, they're tight-knit, and Garza saying, and they are the most handsome tag team out there, which, okay, I'll give you guys that. Yeah, that was completely random that they just decided to throw them two together. Anyways, as far as this match went, Ali, he was the punching bag at the start. It was really quick and fast paced. Like, whew, damn. I had a hard time keeping track watching all of it. It was that quick paced, like, and it's not so much that it was so fast paced that I couldn't keep up. It was just compared to everything before that, and it was just like, okay, something different. Whoa, this wave, not what I was expecting out of nowhere. Okay, cool. That kind of fast pace. And yeah, I dug the shit out of it. Match came to an end when Humberto had a last chancery put in on Mustafa, and then Garza hit a running drop kick right on Ali's face. 1, 2, 3. That was it. Next up, we got a women's tag action. So, before I get into that, let's just gloss over this for a minute. This Raw has had Eva Marie versus Doudrop, Nia Jax versus Shayna Baszler, and now we're about to have a women's tag action. Nikki A.S.H and Ripley going against Natayla and Tamina for the women's tag titles. And compared to last week's SmackDown, which was the first women's match we've had in about 3, maybe 4 weeks. And SmackDown was actually SmackDown was at one point the standard bearer for the women's division for WWE. And I notice I'm emphasizing on WWE. I'm not talking about NXT. But I'm just saying, like, damn. Either way, yeah. Nikki A.S.H and Rhea Ripley, before they came out and then cut a very heartfelt, tear-jerking inducing promo promoting Connor's Cure and the V for Victory Foundation, and yeah, because right after that my first thought was, oh fuck, if they lose they're really gonna do a fuck them kids kind of moment. Oh my god, are y'all really gonna do that? I mean, I wouldn't put it past, and I'm not saying it despairingly, but oh my god. Ugh. Now, as far as this match went, you know, it was very much so, it was kind of, well, Nikki was the punching bag. Rhea was pretty much being isolated to keep out of the match. And then at one point, as Natayla is going to lock in the sharpshooter on Nikki, she's got the legs up, she's got her one leg through, and she's looking to go and lock Nikki's legs in to then hook and turn around. But as she's just got the legs like that, she's looking outside like, what? Because she sees Rhea doing the riptide to Tamina on the outside on the apron, and all I'm thinking is, okay, Natayla is supposed to be from a legendary wrestling family, you know. This, you know, the daughter of Jim the Anvil Neidhart. Her grandfather was the legendary Stu Hart. Her uncle was Bret Hart. She comes from the Great Hart Dynasty. So you're telling me that this great wrestling lineage that she has, and she stops and gawks at the fact that her tag partner is getting hit on the outside. And then Nikki gets the win via a inside cradle. So yeah, we went last week without a fucking roll-up cradle finish to having one tonight. That aside, let's move on before I wind up getting mad. Even though that's probably the point. That's the whole point of the show. I'm supposed to get fucking mad and fucking hot on shit. Next matchup, we got Jeff Hardy versus Sheamus. And the stipulation in this is, if Jeff Hardy wins, he's then interjected into the US title match between Damian Priest and Sheamus at Extreme Rules. Okay, so this match has stakes. Let's see what we got. Damian Priest is ringside doing commentary saying he actually would look forward to the opportunity of going against Jeff again if he wins, because he wants his name to live forever. He wants infamy. He wants to live in infamy because, you know, the only way that's going to happen is if he goes against top tier talent like that. And as far as Sheamus versus Jeff goes, really good, solid back and forth over it, you know. At one point, you see on the outside, Sheamus rip his mask off and just throw it up the ramp. And then at some point during the match, you see Sheamus, he gets a cut somewhere around on the side of his nose over here. So, yeah, he's got bloody again. And then we got the ending. Jeff went for the swanton. Sheamus countered with knees on it and then got Jeff up for an Alabama slam. Jeff then wiggles down, rolls him over into a sunset flip. 1, 2, 3. Sunset flip roll up finish. What the fuck? We got 2 fucking roll up finishes back to fucking back. Just fucking hate roll up finishes. Yeah. So Jeff got the win, and now we got... But I'm cool with Jeff winning, just not on the matter of how he won. So yeah. Afterwards, then, Sheamus, he then went after Sheamus, Priest, brouhaha, yeah. So now we come to main event of the night. Triple threat. Roman Reigns versus Bobby Lashley versus Big E. So we got meat, slapping. We got big old meaty versus meaty guys. Meat, slapping meat all around, just like Big E wanted them all that time ago. He talked about it on his show. And oh, now we finally got it. Hope he's happy on that. Now, as far as this match goes, right at the start, man, Big E was focusing on Bobby for this match, and man, Roman really kind of just picking his shots. And I gotta tell you, man, honest to goodness, Big E was really the workhorse in this match, because if you go and you watch this, now, you know, think the right way I want to say this. You watch enough wrestling, you pick up a certain kind of formula on how some companies do certain matches. And with WWE Triple Threats, it's, you know, you'll see one-on-one for a minute with this guy, and then one-on-one, and then one-on-one, and then all three, brouhaha. Big E was really kind of going at, Big E was the conduit between bouncing Big E Bobby, Big E Roman, Big E Bobby, Big E Roman. And, you know, I give the man credit where credit is due. He was a fucking workhorse in this. You know, he is showing, no, look, y'all want to put the fucking title on me? Okay, I'm going to show you why I'm worth putting that fucking strap on. And, man, big props to him on that. You know, so, but I fucking dug the shit out of this match. This was a damn good one. And for anyone wanting to go and make the argument, oh, well, WWE's just doing this because it's a ratings grab. No fucking duh, dipshit. It's a fucking television show. Majority of their fucking earnings come from television programming. Just, ugh. You know, I mean, for fuck's sake, we're getting on the opposite end of the spectrum on AEW, we're getting Kenny Omega versus Bryan Danielson on TV. So is that a fucking ratings grab? You're goddamn right it is. Hell, they had fucking Kenny Omega versus Christian Cage, also on TV. Was that a fucking ratings grab? You're goddamn right it was. It's a fucking... If your wrestling show is on television, you're going to want to do whatever you can to draw in as many people as possible. You don't want to have your B or C talent be the main draws and be the reason people are going to... And, you know, do you want to elevate your B and C talent to eventually become A talent? Yes. But do you use your B and C talent to be the big money draws? No. No, you use the big names to draw in the people, and then you build up. Just fuck. I can't understand why these people get so fucking stupid on their shit. So yeah, as far as the triple threat match goes, hell of a show, hell of a damn match. I fucking dug it. It came to an end when Lashley then had a chair, was cracking his shit over, cracking Big E with it, beating the shit out of him with it, and then after he destroyed him with it, turned around, Roman then boom, popped him with a spear, 1, 2, 3. That was it. So Roman, he came, he saw, he conquered, not to steal Brock Lesnar's line, Monday Night Raw. Also, one thing, I did dig the shit out of the fact that Roman showed up on Raw with a red glove. Normally he wears the gold one, supposed to be emphasizing that he's got like the Midas touch. Whatever he touches turns to gold. Same thing with that. That was the whole point of the red glove, or with the gold glove. This time with the red one saying, nah, I'm here for Raw. So yeah. So that is it for this week's show, folks. So please don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, go back, watch some of the other episodes when you can. Look for me on the Twitter at Tim Vicious. Also on that Facebook gimmick, Tim Ash. If you're gonna look for my Facebook gimmick, make sure you let me know you found me on there, on here in the comments, or on my Twitter at Tim Vicious. So I don't think you got your pre-John going. Also, leave any interesting complaints, questions, concerns, thoughts, grunts, groans, whatever you want down below. I'm open to all criticism, good, bad, and indifferent. Also, folks, thank you to contributor of the show, LFC Lingerie Fighting Championship. They're a little bit of wrestling, a little bit of MMA, and a whole lot of attractive women wearing a little bit of nothing. Also, thank you to my executive producer of the show, Ellie Ray Ben, who did provide the music for this week's show. Make sure to check it out. This music's out there on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube, all that good shit. Details are down below. Also, folks, don't forget to follow these cool-ass cats right on the Twitter. Kenny Killer DSV_IP, Diabolica RA Sergeant Curry Pants, and Doug's in your face. And folks, like I always tell y'all, you love me great, you hate me. Fuck you.